Hello everyone and welcome to the HRL Forza Elantra series. We're at the second to last round of the regular season here. We're at Eaglerock Speedway. And yeah, this is after this round, we just have the triple header, triple crown at Laguna Seca, and that'll be the last night of the regular season. And then of course we have the grand final after that. So including this, 3 more weeks of racing remaining. So yeah, not much left. It's been a fun series. And yeah, kind of crazy that we're already like at the end of it and seeing it wind down, but it's been a lot of fun, especially the back half. Now that I feel like everybody that's been sticking with it through the entire season, I feel like has a pretty good grasp on the car at this point. Like in the early couple of weeks, some drivers, I think we're definitely struggling with the car and trying to adapt to it. But now that we're at this point in the season, I feel like everybody's got like a handle on it and at least like knows what they're trying to do to get it to go fast. It's just more of a matter of actually executing on that. But I feel like everybody like understands it better and yeah, like knows what they need to do a bit better with it. So yeah, like I feel like the back half of the season with this car has been a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of fun in general. And we are wrapping up one championship tonight. So we have the separate like division championships, I think is what I'd call them, on Halo, and we're bringing that to Forza a little bit. So obviously on Halo, when we'd have things like TRS and Terrain Oval and MX and whatever, usually like a fourth one as well, like all those different types of series like featured in one season. We started doing like the division championships as another fun thing to follow and to strive for. And yeah, we can't bring that over to Forza as well because there's just like road courses and ovals. Like there's really only 2 categories, so there's not as much variety to work with. But we still do have those 2 categories, so we can still do it to some extent. And yeah, following it this season, there's like the side like oval championship, and then the road courses. And so far, DJ has a really big advantage, and he's leading this race now currently as well, which is funny. But he has a really big advantage going into this night, trying to win the Oval Championship. He has both of the overall wins on Ovals so far this season, and he has 3 out of the 5 Moto wins as well so far on the Ovals. So yeah, obviously with those results, he has a really good advantage going into the night. And as long as he doesn't have to have like a crazy good night, but as long as he has like another solid night, I think his 2 closest competitors, I want to say, are Luke and Matt in those points, and they're second and third right now. I think they're the closest competitors, but I think that if either one of them wants to win the Oval Championship, Deech has such an advantage that they probably have to sweep, I would say. Like, they probably have to sweep, and they probably have to have Deech finish, like, I don't know, like the bottom end of top 5, because I think that's like pretty realistic and about how many points they need to make up. But yeah, I think he'd need to finish like bottom end of top 5. Maybe even further back in both motos, and then yeah, probably have to sweep. Like that's how big of an advantage he has going into this night. So it's gonna be tough. He's definitely got the advantage again, like for it. Like he's in a really good spot. So I don't expect to see any drama for that Oval Championship, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know. Especially the fact that we have the biggest field that we've had all season, right? That makes things a little bit more interesting. So the setup is definitely there for things to get interesting. But again, I wouldn't anticipate it. But either way, I'm just going to enjoy the race, and we'll, keep you updated on that and get an update on it after both the motos are done, because that is one of the things that we're following tonight. We have that championship being wrapped up tonight. The next week, we'll have the regular season championship and the road course championship as well wrapped up. And then the week after that, we're doing the grand final, which will be fun. We have 3 tracks in that one. We're going to do the Sunset Peninsula Oval, which we have not done before. Yeah, we have not done that one before, so that'll be interesting to kick off the night. We're going to do the full circuit for Brands Hatch, which we've done the short circuit for Brands Hatch in the MX-5, so we have not done the full circuit, so that's a expansion there, I suppose, from last season. That should be fun, because Brands Hatch was pretty fun last season, but again, it was the short circuit. I think it'll be a lot of fun going on over to the full circuit, because it's one of my favorites on the game. And then we also have Grand Oak Club returning. I believe Grand Oak Club was, I want to say, the regular season finale for the MX-5s, and it put on a pretty good show. Like, there was really good battles. There's a lot of strategy and it was probably one of the better races from the MX-5s. Like a lot of the things that I can remember from the MX-5s, I look to like moments from that race. So yeah, should be fun to see that return as well. So it's a really good lineup for the grand final, and definitely looking forward to that a couple weeks down the road. Anyways, getting all that context and stuff out there, pay a little more attention now to Eaglerock. We have a really close moment right here. Look at that. Slaunch trying to clear himself. Not quite clear. And a little bit of contact there, so that's going to slow. Well, surprisingly, I don't think it really slowed Slaunch down at all, or that much. I mean, it seems like he's still pretty close to the lead. Yeah, maybe a bit, but it didn't seem too bad. But Deech and Matt looks like they lose like quite a bit of time off that one. So we had a really close battle, and they were all in a line up front. But now, with that moment, that separates the pack a little bit, and these guys are probably going to have to put their head down and try to regain a bit and try to, you know, get back in that battle. Now that contact has happened, and now that it's spaced out a little bit. But it looks like it might not be that hard to do, because, again, Slaunch is gaining on the lead. He's gaining on Luke right now. He's really close. And it looks like he's trying to set up a move. So if he does do that, you know, that could potentially slow both of them down. And then if, you know, Deech, Matt, and Opix stay locked in behind, you know, stay in line and just try to make gains for a little bit, I think they'll catch back up to the lead, and we'll be back to a nice like 5-way lead pack very shortly. So we'll see how it pans out. But yeah, Slaunch, there it is, making the move, and let's see if he can complete it. He's going for the lead, and this is a track where Slaunch has opportunity. He was pretty good here in the MX-5s. He fell off a little bit, I want to say, in the middle portion of the race. It's been a while. I'm going completely off memory with those. I haven't rewatched them in a while, so just going completely off memory. But yeah, I want to say Slaunch was actually really close. At this track, I want to say in Moto 1, he was really, really close, really competitive in the MX-5s for, again, I want to say like the first 10 laps, maybe 15 laps or so. And then I believe around that point, I want to say he had like one really big moment, like one really big slide. And then, you know, it ended up being like a decent gap, and he wasn't really able to recover from that point on. But up until that point, he was really competitive and did a really good job. And I think he had legitimate potential to, you know, take that win. I think that was probably his best opportunity in the MX-5s to take a win. Another pretty decent one was Maple Valley Short, where he lagged out. But I honestly think his opportunity at Eaglerock was even better, because with Maple Valley, you know, obviously if the lag out didn't happen, things could have been different. But I do remember that his tires were falling off, and I believe Luke had the fresh softs behind that were not going to fall off. So even though Slaunch did have the track position, that was going to be a really tough spot to hold. So yeah, he was in the lead, and it was unfortunate, but I think his chance of getting a win was actually better at Eaglerock, because I think his pace was better. So yeah, I think that was one of his best opportunities last season. It didn't work out. So I think this is one that he's probably looking forward to returning to. And so far early in the race, like, he qualified well, didn't quite get the pole. We saw that Matt got the pole. Yeah, Matt taking another pole this season. Another really strong qualifying time. But early on in the race here, Matt's fallen back a bit. It looks like he's starting to regain a bit, starting to work his way back towards the front. But Slaunch, again, like, qualified decently, but he's having a really good run through the field. And he's taking the lead back from Luke, and it's just a really good battle between both of them. To show some replays there, because, you know, it's just, like, really good, clean battle for the lead. And this is exactly what I was saying. Look at this. Look at this mess. All they had to do was battle a little bit, go back and forth just a couple times. Deech, Matt, and Opix locked in, and here we go. We're back to a 5-way pack for the lead. So that's all it took. That's all it took was just a couple lead pass attempts, a couple crossovers. That's all it took, and it brought all these guys back into it. Now, obviously, Roman, Tristan, Coop, and Clayton, they've obviously dropped back a little bit, unfortunately, at this point. So I think they're going to need a caution if they want to get up there. I will say, I think Roman and Tristan's pace is not that bad. Like, they're not that far off. It looks like Coop and Clayton probably need a little bit of work. But I think Tristan and Roman aren't that bad. Like, if they get a caution, I think they could maybe do something. But right now, they're kind of just battling with each other and having fun for that 6th and 7th place spot. But yeah, they're kind of out of it. It's for the win. It's definitely between these 5 guys right now. We'll see how close they can stay. We'll see if somebody can get away, because obviously Luke was able to get away in Moto 1. Moto 2 is a little bit more interesting. But in Moto 1 of the MX-5 race here, he was able to get away with the lead. But so far in the Elantras, I don't know if that's possible. It seems like that's not the case. It seems like whoever gets the lead is having a really hard time, like, actually gapping the field. It's a short track, and there's some braking. You see there's a lot more lifting. You see the drivers going on the brakes very frequently, maybe even some downshifting. So a lot more at play than what we saw at, like, Indy or at Homestead, or what we will see at Sunset Peninsula, with those just being complete drafting races, right? There's a lot more than that at play here, but I suspect that it might be a little bit draft heavy as well, and not as much as those races, obviously. But I think it might play a slight role into this track too, in this car, even more so than the MX-5. Because again, like, the leader just seems to be having a really hard time to get away, and we see that here. More battling going on. Opix is going to enter his way into the podium here, which I'm sure he's pretty happy about. And you see, like, Slaunch had a really nice run, and it looked like he was going to get away for a bit. But look at this. Matt, again, is coming on really strong in the second half of the race. Like, he qualified on pole, got sent back, lost some track position early. But again, he's coming on really strong in the second half. He's doing a good job here. And he's making a ton of gains. I'm watching the interval. He's making a ton of gains. We're seeing it. He's going for a pass attempt already. Oh, that was really close. Luke going for one here on Opix as well. But yeah, like, Matt, it looked like it was going to be a really big gap. It looked like it was going to take a while for him to cut that gap down, and it didn't take too long. And now here he is battling with Slaunch. Slaunch is going to be worrying about that. He's going to be trying to defend, and that'll probably bring, like, Luke, Opix, and Deech back into it as well, I would imagine. So that's just kind of the racing that we're seeing here. It's really fun, but it's interesting. Again, I did not think that it would play out quite like this. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's entirely draft. I do think part of it is just the drivers stepping it up. I think this series is a lot more competitive. Like, we see the lap times, right? We see the qual times. We see the battles. Like, all the races damn near have a lot of battles that go all the way to the end. I think this series is just a lot more competitive with this car. And I think the drivers have improved a ton since the MX-5s. And I think that's probably the main reason why the leader can't quite get away. I think everybody's just gotten a lot better and doing a good job at, making it a good race. But I don't know. I'm not sure how much of a factor the draft is too. But I think everybody that raced this agreed that it is some factor at least in this car, which is interesting because I don't know. I feel like that shouldn't be the case on this small of a track. Like, it probably should not be a thing. But apparently it is. So makes for an interesting race. That's for sure. And I got to say, this one was really fun. I think everybody that participated in this one had a pretty good time. And yeah, Eaglerock is just going to be, I think any series that we do outside of, like, a really specific series, I think Eaglerock is just going to be a mainstay for us as long as we're doing stuff on Forza. Because, oh wow, big moment right there. Matt was trying to find some room to the inside. Luke had to give him a shove to get him back up to speed. But yeah, I think Eaglerock's just going to be a mainstay as long as we're on Forza, because love the racing here. Holy crap, that was a big moment right there. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this again. Matt sliding up, Slaunch going down in the corner, and has to Tokyo drift it, save it, hold on to it. That was a big moment right there against Slaunch. Trying his hardest, trying to compete for, again, he has not gotten a win yet. He's trying to compete for his first win. And we have some first-time winners this season. And Slaunch is trying to add his name to that list. And that was really close right there. Him and Matt battling really hard for the lead. So yeah, Matt not going to make it easy. And it's going to be a tough battle for Slaunch all the way. But he's done a really good job so far this race. He's led a ton of laps. But he's under pressure again. But he's used to it. I mean, it's been happening this entire moto, right? Like, he's been getting chowed on his inside this entire moto. And he's been able to find a way to, either block it off or get a move in retaliation and get back to the lead. He's figured that out, and he's made it work so far. So we'll see if he can continue that. There's still quite a few laps remaining, although time is winding down here. But yeah, we've seen him been able to do it. We'll see if he can keep doing it, especially because he has Luke and Matt really hungry for a win behind him and trying their hardest to get around. Slaunch doing a good job in turns 3 and 4 right here of just painting the line. He goes a little wide on exit, but throughout the corner just gets it right down to that white line, and that's what you want to do. And it's hard to do because with these cars, when you go into the corner, unless you like over slow down, they really just want to go up. They just want to go up the track. They want to go towards the wall. So doing what Slaunch did right there in 3 and 4 and getting it down to the line and doing it right here as well, he's doing a pretty good job. Matt did a pretty good job there as well, of just getting the car down low getting those left side tires like down to that white line like as close that you can without crossing over it. That is like really hard to do. But that is the skill gap of this track. And you see here, Slaunch and Luke both go wide, and right there, Matt's going to have a pass opportunity because you saw he was able to do it. He was able to keep it really far down low, and that's what you got to do here. Because not only is it the place to be in terms of speed, how are you going to pass, right? Like if somebody's glued to that line, you can't go underneath them. If you try to bump them out of the way, that doesn't seem to work too well in these cars either. So like, what do you do? How do you set up the pass? You have to set up a pass to try to like get speed on them on the exit, but that is just, these cars don't have that much horsepower. That's like hard to do. So that is the key to this race. That's the key to this track, especially in this car, is to just be able to paint that line, be able to get on that inside, paint that line, and hold on to it. Oh no. And it looks like we're going to have a caution. Let's get some replay action. Matt and Slaunch racing really hard for the lead. And unfortunately, it comes to a tragic end right there. Let's see what happened here. Looked like it was going to be a clean and green race all the way to the finish. And it looked like we were going to have one of those cracked lead battle finishes that, again, we've actually had a lot of this season. But now it's going to be different. Now it's going to be different because we're going to have a caution. We're going to have a restart. It's not quite a green-white checkered. We're going to have more laps than that, but we are going to have a late race restart. Taking a look at multiple angles here. Slaunch coming down, Matt coming up. Not going to work. So, unfortunate, but here we go. We're going to restart with 4 laps to go. And again, like Slaunch and Luke on the front row. Now, Matt's going to have to go back. He dropped a few positions. Going to make things interesting. Let's see who's able to clutch up here. Green flag, 4 laps to go at Eaglerock. And who knows, there could be another caution. And if it happens late enough, that could end the race as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind, that with this few laps remaining, this first lap is very important. You want to try to take the lead as early as possible if you can, because there is always that chance of a late race caution that ends the race. So you want to get out front as fast as possible. And look at this, the outside line actually works really well for Luke. Luke's going to take the lead here. Slaunch is going to go back to second. This is unfortunate for him. He's led so much of this race, but he's going to have to lock in here and try to chase down Luke and try to get that lead back if he wants to get that first career win for himself on Forza. And this is not going to help. He goes super wide, has a really bad 1 and 2 right there. And now he has Deech and Opix to his inside. He has Matt making a huge run right here. He's gotten up to 5th, and that wide run from Slaunch allowed Matt to gain a ton of time. He's back here in the pack. All of this, meanwhile, is really helping Luke. You see the gap. That's probably the biggest lead gap that we've seen all race. And it was only like 0.7 of a second. But like genuinely, that's probably the biggest gap that we've seen. That's how tight the racing's been here. 2 laps to go here at Eaglerock. Deech going really low in the exit. Trying to get a run off the corner. Looks like he's able to do it. Matt able to take advantage there. Get to the inside of Opix. He's going to pick up another spot. This is pretty good for him so far. He's picked up 2 spots off this restart, which again is not bad. It's hard to do more than that, honestly. Pretty good regain so far. And we have a big moment. Let's take a look at the replay. What happened here? We saw it at the front view. Luke hits the wall on exit, getting a little lazy on the exit and makes contact with the wall. Take a look at this. Looked like he was trying to drift it out to the wall like you usually do on exit, but maybe just did it a little too early. Maybe looking behind a little too much. I don't know. But either way, makes contact, and it looked like the race was wrapped up, and now that makes things interesting. We're going into the last lap, and that allows Slaunch to get right back to the bumper. And is he going to send it? Well, it's Slaunch. We know he's going to send it. Goes to the inside, slight contact, and it's going to have to be a crossover move. I don't know if it's going to work. And yeah, look at that run. Slaunch is going to run it all the way out to the wall. He's going to have the speed. He's going to do it. Takes his win. Takes his first career win here at Eaglerock under crazy circumstances. The late race caution. The mistake here from Luke drifting out just a little too much, making contact with the wall. We saw Matt do that way earlier in the race, I want to say. I think it was off of turn 2, though. But I think we saw Matt do the same thing way earlier in the race. I'm honestly surprised we didn't see more people do it. But yeah, very easy mistake to make, but just a horrible time to make it. And it opens up the door for Slaunch, and you know Slaunch is going to send it at this point. Sends it up the inside, just shoots to the inside and makes it happen. So he's going to take the win. So huge for Slaunch. Congrats. He's going to take his first win here at Eaglerock. I said he had potential. And yeah, we have another first winner in the season. So congrats to him. He's going to get those congrats from Matt after the race. But yeah, huge dub for Slaunch. Gets one on the board, gets the Pamplemousse in victory lane. So yeah, finally able to make it happen. And man, what a good show that we got from Eaglerock. And remember, we have one more moto here, so get ready for that one. See you there.